Hey everybody, it's me, Angel Benton, and tonight we're doing another Sudsy recap. And tonight we are doing Below Deck. This was a really good episode of Below Deck because there was a lot going on, but not that much. So there was actually really two storylines going on, but a lot happened in both of those storylines. Okay, so the first storyline was about, you remember how last week, how Kyle, who is the hottie yaddy yaddy from England with the thick accent, who's just bloody gorgeous. That wasn't really an accent, but he he uh he asked Sierra out, right? Because finally someone actually sees that Sierra is beautiful. And Sierra says okay. But then she kind of shows her true colors for being a little bit shallow, because when he says he's supporting his daughter and has to wire money to his daughter, she then loses interest. So then she tries to get Kelly and Emily to go on a double date with them. But Emily said no. She's like, no, thank you. She has no interest in Kelly. And that's the other storyline, but we'll come to that in a second. So it did end up being just Kyle and Sierra, and they went out fishing. And the whole time, she's sitting there on the phone texting her boyfriend. Now, granted, listen, I was not on that date in real life. I just know what I was shown from on the show. So it's entirely possible that she didn't spend the entire time on the phone. Just like how I was like, well, maybe, like when Kate earlier in the season, when it looked like Kate was constantly on her phone. But I was like, well, that could be just editing, making it look like she's always on her phone and she really isn't. But I'm thinking that Sierra really did spend the whole time talking to her boyfriend or this guy talking to back home or whatever. Because Kyle actually ended up asking her about it, and she admitted it. She's like, yeah, I'm talking to a guy. And I mean, like, first of all, okay, if you're not interested anymore, first of all, you should have just canceled the date. You should say, you know what, I really don't want, I'm not feeling it anymore, right? That's bad number one. Bad number two, don't be texting some other guy when you're out on a date. That's just rude. That's really rude. Even if Kyle ended up having 6 heads and puked green slime, it wouldn't matter. Like, you need to finish the date and then you can text your boyfriend. I mean, and then to tell Kyle, I mean, it's awful. That's shameful. That is shameful. I'm very disappointed in her, right? So anyways, they come back from the date, and he still promised to take her out to dinner, and he was actually going to still take her out to dinner. God bless him. But that's when Kelly stepped in, and my man Kelly was like, oh, no. She can go out with Kate, and they can have their own fun, and then we are going to have a deck crew night because you're not taking her out because, basically fuck her, because if she's going to be texting some other guy when she's on a date with you, that's disrespectful. And he's totally right, 100% right. So Kyle ended up being like, yeah, fuck it, let's just have a deck party. So they all went out. They had some drinks. They came back, had a dance party. Just the deck crew. So Kelly, Nico, Lauren, and Kyle. And it was great. And it was great because they were all cutting loose and having a good time. However, first of all, though, Sierra found out that Kelly was pissed off at her. And he told her. And this is now, people might get mad at Kelly for instigating, but I don't. But see, here's the thing. He didn't say anything to her, right? She came up to him and she said, do you have a problem with me? Now, he's not going to back down from a fight, especially from a chick, right? So he'll tell her, yeah, I do. I have a problem with the way you treated Kyle. You're not honest about your feelings. So he basically told her, yeah, sorry, you're a liar. So then they had that little cute little party on the boat. It was really cute, while everyone else was out. But they did get a little messy, and not messy like sloppy drunk puking and all that kind of stuff, but literally messy like they left a bunch of shit out. And I don't know how many times you've got to learn that Captain Lee is not the one that you ever want to fuck with. Like, you never want to leave shit out for Captain Lee to see it. Because if you do, I mean, really, really. So, you know, Kate ended up bearing the little bit of the brunt of it from him, but he knows who it was. He's not stupid. I mean, he's Captain Lee. He's not dumb. Anyways, so yeah, so so that was the one storyline, right? Was the Kyle and Sierra storyline. But the alternate storyline that same day was about Emily's date. And this was, and in a way I felt bad, but in a way I didn't. I mean, Emily has never shown any interest in Kelly. And she's been very consistent about that, at least on camera. Again, I don't see what happens off camera, so I don't know. But on camera, it does not appear that she's giving him even the slightest amount of interest that she's interested in. And also, what's the Nico? She hasn't shown any interest in Nico either, right? So, you know, the two of them with their bet, and then in comes Ben, my man Ben, just come up and asked her out, gave her flowers on Valentine's Day. It was the first time she'd ever received flowers on Valentine's Day from a man, asked her out, and she said yes, and they went out to dinner that night. So that was exciting because although it was a little awkward because Kelly had no idea that she had gone out on a date with Ben, or that she was going out on a date with Ben until finally she told him. But, you know, it wasn't like she made a point of telling him. He asked what she was doing and she said, I'm going out with Ben. And he was like, and because Ben is Kelly's roommate, they're in the same bunk, you know, or same room together. And so Kelly was like, wow, okay, you want to stab me in the back like that? But really, it isn't quite that way. It isn't, that's not exactly how it happened. So, you know, we'll see what happens with Emily and Ben. They definitely share a similar background, both coming from England. You know who I want to hear sound off on this? I want to know what Hannah has to say from Below Deck Med. She kind of had a flirtation with Ben, and she's Australian, so she's got that foreign thing going on too. I kind of want to hear what she thinks of this. I'm going to tweet her, and I'm going to ask her what she thinks of this showmance. Or it might be a romance, but we'll see. Anyways, so they went out on their date, and there was a couple times when they crossed paths, both with Kate and Sierra and with the deck crew. But really, they just focused on their date, and they had a lovely evening. It was actually really touching. It was really sweet, you know? So, you know, previously on, you know, because Kelly mentioned that on every single charter, Ben hooks up with a stewardess. Now, I wouldn't say that's true on every charter. The first couple ones, he had Kat, and then he hooked up with Kate, not on during charter season, but in between charter seasons. And now he's actually dating this chick that's, you know, on the boat. That reminds me of Rocky from last year. He didn't date Rocky ever, but man, she was a mess because she was she was so into Eddie. Do I have a pimple? Am I just ruddy? Sorry. I feel like my skin is all red. Why is my skin red? I mean, besides the fact that I'm Native American, and I am. Anyways. So, so this next part is actually, then they showed the previews from next week's episode, right? Now, I'm not going to lie. I might have been a little bit wasted by the time that this came about. So I'm not quite sure if this is a dream that I had or if this actually happened, okay? So I'm going to preface this whole thing by saying that. I might have actually been imagining this. But if I'm not mistaken, something came out where Kyle is bisexual or likes boys or is going to try something new and experiment or whatever. And Sierra was calling him a queen and had a real homophobic undertone to it. I could have been, I'm not lying. I could totally be pulling that completely out of my ass. So I apologize if that's the case. I don't know, but so now we're gonna have to tune in next week to see what's going on. I hope Kyle bats for my team. Shit, even half of the time, because that means I got a chance. Anyways, thank you so much for tuning in today. Feel free to chat with me on Twitter at Angel Benton. Also, we can talk below deck, so hashtag below deck. Tomorrow night we'll be discussing Days of Our Lives, and then on Saturday we'll be talking about Young and the Restless. So peace out. And next week I'm going to be in Florida, so I'm going to be enjoying Orlando for a week. Okay, take care everyone, and have a great day. Have a great day. Have a wonderful time. Whatever. Peace. Wubba wubba wubba.